Hi everyone, so it's Tuesday and in a minute we will be having a good old crack at working out the volume of various prisms. So you probably already know how to do a cuboid, length times width times height. That one's nice and easy. And the others are all about working the area of the cross section and moving on from there. However, before we do that, just to get our brains going, I thought a little bit of mental arithmetic practice. So this one comes out of a newspaper I bought the weekend, and see if you can have a good go at it. All we have to do here is start with the number they have at the top, work down to an answer at the bottom by doing one thing after another to whatever we had. So pause it and have a real good go at it, or if you like, pause it, have a go, see how far you can get. Or if you think you're super fast, see if you can do it a little bit faster than me. So 6 times 9 is 54. Take 32 from 54 is going to leave me with 22. Half of that is 11. Add 38 to 11 is 49. 7 sevens are 49, so 49 divided by 7 is 7. 7 add 14 is 21. 21 divided by 3 is 7, because 7 threes are 21. Add 11 is 18. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Right, and then on to the medium one. Taking 26 from 34. Well, that is 8. You could count up 4 to 30 and then 4 if you like, or just do it the old-fashioned way of taking 1 and 6 from 14 gives you 8, and 2 from 2 gives you nothing. Anyway, 8 times 6 is 48. 48 add 47 is 80 plus 15 is 95. 95 divided by 15, well, there's 20 and 100, so that's 19. Add 27 to 19. Well, if I added 20 to 27, that would be 47. Take 1 away from that is 46. Half of it, half of 40 is 20, half of 6 is 3, so it's 23. Take 19 away, well, 19 add 4 makes 3, so that'll be 4. 4 times 13, well, that's the number of things in each suit, isn't it? In a pack of cards from ace up to the king. So 4 13s is 52 cards in a deck, and 52 take 44 is 8. Right, on to the last one, the hard one then. Taking 30 would give me 55, so if I give 3 back, that will give me 58. 50% of it, well, half of 60 is 30, so 2 less than that's going to be 1 less when you halve it, 29. 29 add 133, well, add 30 gets me 163, so it'll be 1 less than that's 162. 8/9 of it, well, I'm going to need to divide by 9, so 9 goes once with 7 left over, goes 8 times into 72, 18. 18 take 39, it's going to be negative, so taking 39, well, right, so I'm going to do 39 take 18, which is 21, and then it will be, because I'm taking the bigger number instead, that will be that much less than 0, so it will be negative 21. A third of 21 is 7, so a third of negative 21 is negative 7. Adding 126 to it was like taking, I'm just going to take 7 from the 126, gives me 119. Divide that by 7. Well, 7 doesn't go, 7 into 11 goes once with 4 left over, and 7 sevens are 49. 17 plus 145, well, plus 20 would be 165. Take 3 is 1. Oh, add 3 the other way, 168 is the final answer on that. Right, so hopefully you've been able to download the PDF with these questions on. Otherwise, just make a sketch of them. It's probably a good thing to do anyway. Now, what you do have to be aware of is the fact that these things aren't exactly done to scale. And what I mean by that is, if you look at this, what we're trying to do when we're working out the volume of a prism is find out how many cubes could fit in there. So if you imagine that this here was made out of sugar cubes, and these sugar cubes were all exactly 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre, we're trying to find out how many of them there would be. But this is not in, if you look at this distance here being 3, and that distance there being 2, well, this literally has been drawn longer than that. So if it's 2, what that's saying is, and it's saying this is 1 up here, but if that's 1 up here and that's 3 up here, this must be 2 centimetres from there to there. So if I was going to make a thing just looking at the front edge of this that looked a bit more realistic, I would, if I went for 4 centimetres being that long, then I could split that up into 4 wide there. Then I know that's going to go up 1. So if I did that as 4 by 1 for that bit going across, then it goes up. So we've got 4 centimetres there going up, and then this is going up 2, isn't it? So if I actually draw that in a bit closer to what it looks like, if I was just going to look at the very front of it, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sugar cubes lined up like that. And then what we're saying is, how many of them would we have all together if this went back as far as it says it went back? So that's just the very front row of that, but that's 12 centimetres deep. So that means that this is we're going to have 12 rows of that. If I was to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, something like that. So we're going to have to multiply that answer by 12, which we could do just by counting them now that I've drawn it out and say it's 8 times 12 or 96. But I think the way I'd probably encourage you to do this would be to split this into 2 cuboids, cuboid A and cuboid B. So cuboid A is going to be 3 deep, 2 across, and then 12 going back in that direction. And the volume of any cuboid is going to be length times width times height. It doesn't matter which order, because you could turn a cuboid over, couldn't you, and call any of them the height, depending on which one you wanted. So I'm going to do, got 3 times 2 times 12. And I'm probably going to do 3 times 12 first of all is 36. 36 times 2 is 72 centimetres cubed for that bit. And then going across here, for part B, I have got a cuboid. That is, because that's 2 there, this must be 2 wide, and it's 1 high, and then it's going back 12 again. So it's going to be 2 times 1 times 12, which is 24 centimetres cubed. And then A plus B we need to do, so 72 add 24 gets us to that same 96 figure that we would have got if we did 8 times 12. Right then, so the diagram showing a triangular prism, the cross section is a right angled triangle. Calculate the volume of the prism. So we're going to do the same idea in that I need to know the area, how many faces of a cube would I have there, and then I'm just going to times it by how many I've got back. So in the old days they used to have written on the front of the paper in the exam, it used to say volume of a prism equals the cross-sectional area multiplied by the depth. But to be honest, I think you either know it or you don't when you get in there, and I'm not sure how much that helped people, but you don't have that help anymore. But you're going to get a mark for working out the area of this triangle and then multiplying it there, and there's 3 marks altogether. So if you just make one little mistake trying to do those two things, you can still get 2 marks. So the cross-sectional area of the triangle, so area is going to be the base times the height, because there's your right angle, 4 times 3 divided by 2, which is 12 over 2, which is 6. So then the volume is going to be that cross-sectional area times the depth, and the depth is the 8 there. And that 5 you don't need for this question. They quite often do that, put in a bit of thing to see if you know that you shouldn't be using it. 6 times 8 is 48 centimeters cubed. Question 3. This time we've got a trapezium cross section on our prism, but that same thing will be going all the way. So you need to work out the area of the trapezium and multiply it by the depth. Pause the video and give it a go. So the area of the trapezium, remember, is going to be a half a plus b times h, where a and b are the parallel sides and the height is the perpendicular distance between them. So that a is going to be a half of 8 plus 4, or 4 plus 8, doesn't matter which way round, and then times that by 10. So 8 plus 4 is 12, half of 4 is 6, 6 times half of 12 is 6, 6 times 10 is 60 centimeters squared, and then we just need to times that by the depth to get it to volume, and that means 600 centimeters cubed. And just double check that that seemed rather easy. Oh, hang on, you probably noticed I've done 10 twice, haven't I? The perpendicular height there is actually 7, isn't it? So I should have put 7 there, and then that would have been 6 times 7, giving me 42 centimeters squared. Would still need to be multiplied by 10, so that would give me 420 centimeters cubed. So if I'd made that mistake in the exam, I would have got 2 marks out of 3 there. Right, moving on to question 4. Question 4 then, another triangular prism, but this time is a missing distances is there. So what we've got to do, they've told us what the volume is, so we need to think about what we would do to work it out if we knew that x, and write that in and make an equation of it. Pause the video and give it a go. So we're talking base times height over 2 gives us the area of that. So that would be the base 4 times x divided by 2. That would give us the area, and once we get the area we would multiply it by the depth. So the depth is 9, and what that would give us the volume, and they're telling us that the volume is 198. So now that I've done that, let's try and sort this out. If I do 4 times x, we call that 4x. If I halve 4x, I get 2x. So I could say 2x times 9 equals 198. Then 2 times 9 is, oh, well, if we've got all of this times 9, how about we divide by 9 both sides, and that would mean that this side would just become down to 2x. We'd have to divide this by 9. Now 9 goes into 19 twice, with 1 left over, and twice into 18. So 2x would be 22, and then all we need to do is say if 2 times our mystery number is 22, if we divide by that 2, we get x equals 11 centimeters. Now there's no units written on the dotted line there, which means if you have a go at it and you get it wrong, you've got centimeters in there, you get a mark just for that centimeter. So it's always worth having a go and putting your units in. Next question, we've got a cuboid, and they're telling us that ABCD is a square with area 25 centimeters squared, and that CG is 12 centimeters. This is not actually that difficult, it's just weirdly worded. So the cross-sectional area there times, so they're saying that the length times the width of the square is 25. That means the square must be 5 and that must be 5. So the volume is going to be 5 times 5 times 12. We already know 5 5s are 25 because they've told us. So the volume is going to be 25 times 12. Well, we know 4 25s are 100. So 8 25s will be 200. And 12 25s will be 300. So that will be exactly 300 centimeters cubed. Now here's question 6. There's quite a lot going on in here. I'm not actually going to do this for you now. This is the one I would like you to upload me today so that I can have a look at it before Thursday's lesson and then come back to you and show you give you some good feedback on it and talk us through it, because this is a sort of question they love asking in the thing. I'll just point out to you that we've got meters here and centimeters there, so you may well want to change all of these into centimeters or those into meters. I would recommend, even though you're going to have lots of zeros to deal with, changing those into centimeters. It's more likely you'll get it right in the long run, I think. But anyway, take your time, do what you can on it, and let us know. Before we finish though today, we are going to do question 7 now. So have a go at this question right now. Copy it down, take your time, and see how we did. Now we know for a cuboid, length times width times height equals volume. So 4 times 12 times x is equal to the volume, and they've told us the volume is 120. So let's simplify this. 4 times 12 is 48. So we're saying 48x equals 120. What is x? Well, if 48 times it, we need to divide 120 by 48. So but just start off by writing it as a fraction, because that is actually the right answer. And if you were to write that centimetre and that many centimetres on the bottom, you should get the marks really. But let's sort it out anyway. I know that they're both even, so let's just halve them both to give me 60 over 24. Now they're still both even, so let's do that again. Half of 24 is 12, half of 60 is 30. They are still both even, so let's do it again. Half of 12 is 6, half of 30 is 15. Let's write it out again then. 15 over 6. Now 6 doesn't go exactly into 15, and 15 is not even, but there is a number that goes into 15 and 6. Let's divide by that. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So we're looking at 5 over 2. 5 divided by 2, which you could call 2.5 or 2.5 centimetres. And that is where we're going to stop for today. So remember, upload me your efforts at question 6, and I'll go through that at the beginning next time, before having a look at a few more of these problem-solving-y like questions that we've got towards the end of this set of questions. Okay, so hang on to them. If you printed them all off, hang on to them for Thursday. All right, well done, folks. See you on Thursday. Cheerio.